Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classic. This episode number 3325 and Doubleshot number 3319. 3319, excuse me. So, first up we have is Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy. Yes, the sequel to Silver Surfer Rebirth. Now, at this point, have I reviewed pretty much everything that Silver Surfer miniseries, every single Silver Surfer book released? Most of them, anyways. There's some I haven't reviewed yet. I've not reviewed Death the Silver Surfer, which, yeah, I haven't reviewed it yet because it's not collected in trade. There is a miniseries in the 90s I haven't covered yet. But I think I've reviewed almost just about every single Silver Surfer miniseries to date. Just about. So, Legacy. Yeah, it's all focused on Genville, this one. Yeah. So, written by Rob Lim, written by Ron Martz, art by Rob Lim. It is taking place during a run, when, I don't know. So, we start off with Silver Surfer and Genville, where they're flying through space and they come across a thing that looks like a destroyer, the planet killer from Star Trek, the original series. And they actually have to fight this thing for a bit, which it gets destroyed. And then they head to Monster Island, where, and this is kind of weird, basically they end up in the place where it's the headquarters of Infinity Watch. The original Infinity Watch, not the one who had miniseries recently. Yeah, so look on the headquarters. Oh look, it's the, I think it's a Soul Stone. Yes, it's one of the Infinity Gems, and then basically we see Genville seeing his father fight a Kree Sentry as Captain Mar-Vell. And then, for some weird reason, the thing starts glowing, and then Silver Surfer becomes Mephisto. Yep, not real surprised to see Mephisto here, because, fun fact, did you Mephisto debuted in a Silver Surfer comic book? Debuted in Silver Surfer number 3 back in, I believe it was the early 70s. Yeah, no surprise he's here, and of course, and then we have Surfer who gets out of the Soul Stone and then gets confronted by Adam Warlock, and you see him here with Gamora and Pip the Troll. Then Genville is like wandering around, and we see he's hit by a hammer and the wielder is Silver Surfer Black. Yeah, it's like this is in the future. Gamora here, for some reason, is not, and I don't know why Rob Lim this for, despite like, yeah, this is during the Infinity Watch. Pip looks like the way he did in that book. But Gamora? No, this outfit is incorrect. Because for some weird reason, they depict Gamora wearing one of her modern outfits. I do not know the reason for this. It's a continuity error. And the thing is, Rob Lim drew the original Silver Surfer, not all the issues, but he was basically the artist for a lot of that book. And did he just forget what the heck Gamora looked like back then? I mean, Pip basically got that correct. Probably got notes from Jim Starlin. But Gamora, and of course, battling him for a while, and Gamora used a gun. I'm like, wait a minute. Gamora never used guns. And also, okay, so, yes. And I can tell right away this is not the correct design for her, because, number one, her hair is, okay, her hair is fine, though it's kind of like messy. Her having her hair like a hood, and the outfit is completely wrong, because her outfit from the 90s show off a lot more skin than just her arms, and that's a close-up of her outfit. Yes, and it is my personal theory that, like I said, Rob Lim picked the wrong design. Like, if this is supposed to be set during the Ron Martz Silver Surfer book, then why in the world is Gamora drawn like she is in modern day? Why can't they have picked the correct attire? It makes no sense. I remember seeing in the comic book, and she had this long green outfit that shows a lot of frontal stuff. Not, let's say, frontal nudity per se, but show like a lot of her belly, her chest. It's like, what's wrong with that outfit? It's perfectly fine. And I think the costume was designed by Jim Starlin. Now, why do I think the outfit has changed? I'm guessing because some people at Mar-Vell want to just continually want to take off Jim Starlin. That's my personal guess. At least Adam Warlock is in the correct attire. Then, of course, Pip gets possessed by Mephisto. Then he gets freed. And then you see the whole Silver Surfer with the Thor's hammer. And then, for some weird reason, we cut the Thanos. And they mentioned the previous miniseries where they took on each other. Of course, they had Thanos going to his house on the same planet from Infinity War. Goes in and comes out basically with Infinity Stone. Now, given the fact he has this farm, is this set like after Infinity Gauntlet? Yes. And Mephisto's basically a manipulative thing, and then eventually you think, based on the cover, like, oh, and then we have Silver Surfer Black take on the original Silver Surfer. And this weird story crossover, and then you have Legacy aging. Believe it or not, Genville's original code name was Legacy. And then he basically became Captain Mar-Vell when he basically told Monica, oh, don't call yourself that because it's my name now. And then he decided to come to Proton by beating the crap out of her in a mini-series called Avengers Unplugged. Yeah, he beat the crap out of her, causing her to bleed. Because he really wanted that name so badly. So he gets healed, then Black gets nearly stabbed by his own board, and he hits it with Mjolnir. Yep. And of course it fights over, and of course like fighting a moose. And then for some weird reason we have Frankie Ray show up here. Which you're like, okay, because it's set during the run, this is before her death in Silver Surfer 100. Though she later came back in the miniseries Heralds. Where she's here with Galactus. Because of course she is. And Fisher's watching manipulative things like Galactus. Yeah, and he's wondering about that. Of course, he wonders the same thing. And then Galactus starts devouring the planet. Oh yeah, there's a little scarecrow thing that basically he had from Infinity War, which is cool, the fact he had it. And then you have Legacy Punch Thanos. And then Thanos proceeds to put his outfit back on his scarecrow for reasons. And then we have this robot who witnesses everything. Or a fight between Silver Surfer and Galactus. Where it's like throughout times, including like briefly in the 90s, which I thought this was really cool. We have these outfits coming up for Fantastic Four. Except they refer to a Fantastic 5, probably a futuristic version of them. At one point, he got himself hands on negative bands. And then Legacy saw have his face turned black, like he did in 2000s. Where he comes across Eve Warlock. I believe this is supposed to be, well, a female version of Adam Warlock. Yeah, then weirdly enough, then Silver Surfer goes back to his former self. Before we Silver Surfer gets to go back, no problem. And fights Mephisto. Then Legacy's here with Eve Warlock, not Adam Warlock. And then of course we have once again Gamora in the incorrect outfit, where it's like, yeah, pass protocol, and then of course it goes off, and then we have Nova meeting Eve, and in the book, it is interesting. Oh yeah, there's also Warlock Rebirth that came up between these two books. Yeah, I've not been able to find that one. Yeah, this book here, it's not on the website for some reason, but that'd definitely be one I'd really love to review because it's Adam Warlock. Yeah, and the only connections to all three books is just, well, Genville. Alright, so next up we have is The Predator. This is basically Predator by Ed Bronson. And I believe this might be, excuse me, this is basically Predator, The Preserve. This actually collects Predator Volume 2, issues 1 through 5. Yeah, it was a 5-issue book, and then just ended. Yeah, it's kind of weird, unlike Alien, which lasted 12 issues. This lasted 4 or 5. So, and once again, we mentioned the events of Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator. And, excuse me. I'm guessing that the 2056, that's probably another Predator movie I haven't seen yet. I think it's Prey. Mostly put this miniseries picks up right where the last book left off. What's up? Finding Predators, the woman who basically wore the outfits here too. It's a sequel to it, and it does end a nice little bow. And that's kind of the book in a nutshell. Weirdly enough, when it comes to Predator, this was not technically the last Predator book released. Oh no. Yeah. Yes, for some weird reason, like I mentioned, I think it might be in the new movie, might be Killers? Let's see here. Here we go. So, let's see. Here we go. So, basically, there is one more mainline book, and then it's basically a bunch of crossover books. Yes, so the Marvel Comics one, the most recent one that's coming right now is Predator Kills, the Marvel Universe. That is the most recent miniseries, and a lot of these miniseries fall from the previous one. Like, first you have Predator vs. Wolverine, and then you have Predator vs. Black Panther, Predator vs. Spider-Man, which that recently wrapped up. So in the case of mainline Predator, it's not first book. There's about 2 more left. There is Last Hunt and Predator Black, White, and Blood. Now, as for Ed Bronson, of course, he would write one more miniseries. So I'm not done with him just yet for Predator. Yeah, and that's Last Hunt. So after Last Hunt, it will be... I don't think this one released yet. Black, White, and Blood, that's never released yet. So the only ones else I can do besides... Well... So after Last Hunt, all I can do is just Predator vs. Wolverine and Predator vs. Black Panther. And that's it. That's all I can do when it comes to Predator books to review. Yep. But there's still one more Predator book left to review. Yep. So, yeah, a lot of it's like fighting the Predators, and we also parent. I think this is it's not the Colonial Marines. It goes from the Colonial Marines at all. Now, are these books themselves, do they feel like a continuation of the comics published by Dark Horse? I would say kind of yes, though this is published on imprint. At least we have a writer, Ed Bronson, who's actually a really good writer, and clearly this is actually a really good miniseries. Yeah, and here's the woman who dressed up as a Predator, and she's in this book killing out more Predators, and by the end of this, she wants to kill off more Predators. Yeah. But, of course, becomes like a similar movie to Alien, with the whole thing like finding them on a ship, and of course... Yeah, finding a ship was interesting, because the only time I could think of the Predator movies, that the ones I've seen where they fought on a spaceship, was actually Predator 2. Yes. And this takes the idea and takes some concepts from Alien. Well, not exactly story beats, but yeah, a Predator killing people on a spaceship like this. We even have like a cool nod to Wolverine with the whole claws up someone's head. Yeah, that's something that Wolverine does. I'm sure probably... Yeah, I know it's kind of gross. It'll be very brief. I'm sure This scene here is only the only reason why it's here, because, like, you would think like this, like, ooh, are we teasing a cross between Predator and Wolverine? Yes. Because, here's the weird thing related to this. That was the very next book published. You're like, what? Yeah, after taking 1 month off, Predator vs. Wolverine was the very next book released. I'll discuss that at some point. Yeah, Predator vs. Wolverine. Yep. And this little claw in the head thing, that's not Wolverine. And then, of course, you have, well, they proceed to get away. They, of course, kill the Predator in the issue. And that's it. For mainline Predator, that's it. That was the last book published. Because everything since then is miniseries. I think probably the reason why Mar-Vell has switched limited series over doing ongoing is because that's what they did over at Dark Horse. Now, they actually attempt to do Alien ongoing, but here's the thing about Predator. When they first got the license to publish Predator, they pretty much made it all miniseries. Nothing ongoing, and they basically had maybe 1 or 2 a year at most. But it seems like from the start of it, they published on a consistent basis. Though for some reason, the first Predator book took a while to come out. But yeah, though for some reason it's listed on here like Cold Winter. Yeah, publication wise came out after Predator Sans Bloody Time. But mostly put on a very consistent basis. Like, was at one point they stopped? Yeah, for one point they stopped for over 10 years. Yes, I look on here, so for just Predator miniseries, that's not crossover. Yeah, they published on for 10 years, and then they did 2 more, and then they took a break for 4 years, and then they continued publishing the book for a little while. Yes, until about 2020. Where the book was canceled due to COVID. But, yeah. So, the only kind of Predator comics released were mostly put crossovers. Yeah, 2 of them. One with Alien vs. Predator vs. Terminator, and Superman vs. the Predator. You're thinking, that's it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was the weird thing comes to the Predator. It's like, yeah, 10 years, no Predator. Just don't know the reason for it. It's kind of weird. Will I have more Predator? Oh, heck yes, definitely. Yep. So I give Silver Survivor Legacy a 10 out of 10. Predator The Preserves, I give that a 9. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is the Notorious Talker. Okay, thanks, Phil. Bye.